Hello, beautiful souls, and thanks for tuning in to Tarot Parlor. We're going to be starting off with this 3-card reading. Then we're going to jump into some downloads, and then we might pull some cards at the end of it. So, first off, the universe has aligned to bring in this message today and the courage for me to actually share it with you. So, let's start with these tarot cards first. The first card that we have is the Ace of Cups. Beautiful card. It's letting you know that potential is coming in for you. So the divine universe has prepared answers and potential for what's going on with you right now. Also, we have the 7 of Swords. And yeah, it is exactly what it looks like. You have had a thief that has come into your life and already gotten away with something. However, this is probably something you know about at this point. The thing is that this thief is not done. He's decided to take a second look, and he's thinking about coming back to see what he's left, or if there's something else that he missed out on. And then, to go with all of this, we've got the King of Swords. Really perfect energy for this reading. Because the King of Swords is saying the law is watching, and this thief, he will be caught. He will be caught. Yes. So it's an absolutely awesome message. Wanted to get that shared right away. Now, let's jump into some craziness of this download. So first, we're mentioning knights and healers. Mostly what we're talking about is the healers here. Okay? These healers are the situation. Because yeah, well, let's just keep going. So healers often act as vessels. So they partake of the medication or a medicine in advance, and it's usually in like a putty form, like that kind of a fluffy putty form, and they partake of it, and then if it's needed out in the field, they will, or in an emergency situation, they'll go ahead and excrete it from the mouth, or even here, even this region. So they will excrete from either place to serve somebody. Okay, and so of course, that has different impact based on whether it's a male or a female, right? So for a male or for a female, this might be more controversial depending on who you are, if that's how you had to receive medicine from a healer. Okay, now these vessels partake of their medicine, their lot, in their private community or organization. And then when they are giving their excretion, I don't know what they call it other than sharing, their excretion, they consider that they're doing that for outsiders or the general population. Because obviously, if you were a brethren or a sister, you would be receiving a fill up the way that they do, right? Straight from the bowl, as opposed to an excretion and being considered, like they're doing you a service. Okay. Now, I just recently did a video, because it's going to be pertaining to this as well. I recently just did a video on the gifted program in schools. And you can find that video link right up here at the top. And the program that I was talking about was actually the PAX program that was mentioned on Netflix, The Black Mirror, in their Bandersnatch episode. Okay, so that's how you can look it up and see what I'm referring to. And what PAX stands for, here nowadays it's called the GATE program. Maybe it's named after Bill Gates, I don't know, but it's called the GATE program. But it used to be called the PAX program in the 60s and 70s. Program and control is what PAX stands for. And what they would do is program the subject and then control them with the program that they gave them. Like hypnosis or mind control, etc. Personality control is what they would do. But the program actually developed into a high IQ based program for people with high IQs, the gifted programs. And they decided to not just use these people as test subjects, but to now use them as gifted recipients in the program. So now they're considered gifted, and, the program had changed by the 1960s and 70s. So within the gifted program, they had handlers, or the programmers, the teachers, whoever was in charge of the program. Then it was called programmers, okay? And the programmers had to be aware of the pirates, people that would try to kidnap the kids, because the kids actually had a chip implanted in them. So these chips were in high demand, and pirates were stealing them. So stealing the kids' identities, they were blackmailing, they were terrorizing, and even programmers became pirates. Okay, so that happened. From what I'm saying, that happened. You may not be able to find it on Google, but this is what I'm telling you I remember. Okay, so the gifted program used to give kids medications straight to the kids that were stimulating meds to elevate their mood and enhance learning. So stimulating, elevating, and enhancing medications for genius kids. And this was given to the gifted program students. However, parents and pirates and programmers, everybody wanted their hands on these medications. So they couldn't be trusted to be handed out appropriately. So some programs started using healers or vessels, training their programs to be healers or vessels in order to distribute the medicine. So it was given in a large dose to the vessel, and then they, of course, would excrete it from one place or the other to the gifted child. Now, you can see why this is disturbing. First off, even if it was just that's disturbing. But then it's doubly disturbing thinking that it possibly could have even been that. Okay? So that was a distribution method of medication. Now, programs like the GATE program, I consider them to be gatekeepers of genius medication because they're gatekeeping it even from the kids. The only ones that are getting it are the ones that, getting secondhand medication is not a preferred way of getting medication. Boom. So I consider them gatekeepers, even from the recipients that it's meant for. Now, it's not just programmers that act as vessels. They can be anybody, anywhere that belongs to an organization, or a society that fills people up, right? That actually does this. Okay, so programmers, of course, they eat multiple doses in this putty form, and then they burp it up or excrete it from either area that I showed you for your child to eat usually right into the mouth. So obviously, a programmer must be in perfect health, no STD, no cancer, etc. Now, other than just these programmers, there are societies and organizations that participate in this with their members, okay, that can be vessels as well. And of course, the same thing applies. If they're going to be recipients that share, then they aren't supposed to have anything wrong with them, right? They're supposed to be goodly, considered the goodly in service positions, or sometimes they're considered service hounds. You'll see them volunteering for everything service because they're looking for people to share their PUD with. And I don't mean as a recipient, come eat out of the bowl with me. They mean, let me give you my excretion. And you'll hear these people talk about like, oh, I like to help out. I like to share. I'm just doing my duty. You'll see them in jobs like churches, nanny, babysitter, teachers, aide, coaches, mentors, influencers, firemen, police, the medical field, managers, supervisors, etc. Anywhere where they're going to be around people that are going to get tired, where that's going to need a stimulating, elevating, enhancing medication. And yeah, that's what these goodly people will go and do, is they'll get filled up with it, and then they go out there and share it. Share their excretion. You'll hear them say things like, I have children, I have people, I have students, I have elderly that I'm taking care of. But here's the thing. People lie about their sex life. They lie about if they were ever molested. They lie about ever having STDs because they don't want to lose their position, their control, or their PUD, their medication. And it's really important to note that controlling the PUD distribution, who is or isn't a vessel, is supremacy. This is supremacy. And they'll tell you, oh, it's because you didn't go through, you don't know what somebody's done, but you're controlling who is or isn't because somebody isn't part of your whatever. Anyway, yeah, so they control who is or isn't a vessel, who's an insider, who's an outsider, because they need people to be dependent on their distribution of excretion. So, STDs are sometimes given on purpose to keep some people from ever being a vessel. In other words, so one sibling can have it all, one spouse can have it all, and call all the shots. Excuses that you might hear for why they like doing this is, I'm straightening up these kids, these misfits, these foster kids. I'm helping the homeless. I'm helping the needy or the unruly or this child or person or these people. So yeah, positions of service, vessels, healers, programmers, even pirates that belong to a group or society that gives out PUD. Well, it's not Genius Med. It's actually just it could be uppers, it could be downers. It depends on what they have as a medication and what they've been distributed to. And then whoever they get as recipients of their excretion, then that's the kind of med that they get to keep getting. So if they get recipients that need elevated mood and enhancing, then that's the med that they'll get. If they have recipients that need downer stuff, then that's the med that they'll get. Because there are societies out there, groups and organizations, that really do believe that their members should distribute their excretion to the populace that are deserving. You have to deserve it, by the way. Okay, so I need to know what you guys think. Do you know somebody that does this? Put it down in the comments below. Tell me what you think. Is this something you would participate in? Would you be a willing outsider and partake of excretion? You know, to keep somebody a vessel. Because, see, when somebody's in there as a vessel, they can also be rubbing elbows with politicians and helping you that way, right? No, because if they're in and you're out, they're not there to help you. They're there to help themselves. Think about that. Okay, so let me know. Put a comment below. Please like this video and subscribe. Thanks for watching.